made with respect to responsible and sustainable growth, and certainly this is one of them. The Bay Beach development is one of them, and I can unequivocally say that it is a responsible.
The website for the Law Society of Upper Canada states that a lawyer shall not advise or represent more than one side of a dispute. Therefore, I believe there's a conflicting interest here, and because of this, I have doubts and I have concerns about our options and risks at this point, which is why I feel we still need outside legal representation on this issue. If an outside legal review of the relevant documents in this case showed me that our hands were tied in this issue, or if changing our minds would put the municipality at too great of a risk, either financially or legally, then I would reluctantly agree not to oppose the project any further. Because of my opposition to this project, I too have been labeled anti-development, which couldn't be further from the truth. I'm opposed to this development on this location, period. This project is not a freebie for the town of Fort Erie. The land we're giving up was appraised at $2.7 million. There are costs that the town will be responsible for throughout the construction phase, and there will be ongoing maintenance costs associated with the amenities we receive. All I'm trying to do is do due diligence in this matter and to make sure that I have all of the answers I need to make my decision. And as I didn't feel I had those answers after the closed session meeting on Wednesday, my vote stayed consistent with my past votes in opposition to this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Martin. I won't waste any time on spending anyone's time at this late in the evening on how we got here. I've had various degrees of success working towards waterfront access issues within the town of Fort Erie. As president of the Shorewalk Association for close to 3 years, there are not many people within the community who know more about the current status of waterfront access within all parts of the town than myself. Let me make one thing clear to anyone watching. The beach will remain public. Access to the beach is not disappearing. Having said that, how did I arrive at my decision to proceed with the development on Wednesday, and what am I thinking this evening? My actions and decisions are guided by common sense and consultation. I always support dialogue and debate, and never hesitate to change my opinion if better or additional information is presented. There's nothing more dangerous than an idea when it's the only one you have. I came into the Bay Beach discussion with an open mind and repeatedly said I would weigh my decision heavily on the OMB decision. Some who believe that the OMB would vindicate their position against the development now question its validity. It is all too easy when you're not satisfied with the result to start attacking the process that led to it, and indirectly the people involved in bringing that process to fruition. The OMB decision was very clear, by a board-appointed arbitrator who deals with these issues every day. Someone who'd never been to our town previously, to my knowledge. Those on the winning side say that means he was unbiased. Those on the losing side say it means he had no concept of our community or what the residents want. So which side do you believe? Some have categorized this past election as a referendum on Bay Beach in the mayor's race. And those opposed say that since the election was so close, it shows that 50% of the community is against it. I don't buy that, nor do I believe we can say with any certainty that because of those results, 50% of the community is in favor. We simply don't know. What I do know is that 65% of the community never even showed up to the polls. And although some say that no credibility can be given to those who don't even care enough to vote, that's not how our democracy works. And if this election was a referendum on Bay Beach, 2/3 of the town just don't care enough one way or the other. 2/3 of the town. And if put to them the choice between building it or bogging it down and increasing their taxes to pay legal fees and risk a lawsuit, I have a hunch what they'd say. But I don't put all of my eggs in that basket. I do go with many who did vote, and they feel very strongly. One of my friends, Councillor Luberts, is sitting in his chair, as he mentioned, as a direct result of his stance on Bay Beach, and a couple others around the table are here as either direct or indirect results as well, whether it was their position or their opponent's position. I respect that fully. I'm not sitting here because of Bay Beach, or any other big issue, really. During my campaign, I kept my views on most of the major issues very close to my vest. Was it because I wasn't capable of forming an opinion? Of course not. It's always been my belief that the time to make a decision on an issue is when the facts are at hand, or time is dictating that a decision is warranted and necessary. On this issue, I believe both those points to be true. On Wednesday, we went into closed session. We received information regarding the alternatives, how to stop the development, and a decision was made based on that advice. I was comfortable on Wednesday night with that decision. This has been a heavily debated issue by this council in our infancy, and although we came down on different sides Wednesday night, I'm confident in this team's ability to navigate forward, continuing to respect the diverse opinions shared. Council chambers is an arena of ideas where we will be entrusted with future decisions on issues that we aren't even aware of yet. Life is what happens when you're making other plans, and we need to recognize that Bay Beach will not be the last big challenge we face during this term. Heck, it wasn't even ours to start with. So much has been put on the shoulders of this council to once again weigh the pros and cons of this development. And the idea has been floated to return back to square one and possibly expose ourselves to lawsuits and years of litigation to end up with nothing, except higher taxes in the same parcel of property, untouched. The last council dealt with the development, and they made the decision and signed the contracts. That's done. I have a tendency to not look back. People who look backwards usually get run over. I prefer to look forward, keep my head up, and deal with the issues that present themselves to me for consideration. And this issue, although contentious, is quite simple in my opinion. It is my sincere belief that going along the path of halting this project at this point in time is a risk I'm not prepared to take. I said that last Monday. I said that strongly behind closed doors on Wednesday night. I've said it again this evening. I'm fortunate in that I've been through this before, having had to make tough decisions regarding the Shorewalk Association and our stance, the skateboard park, and others. The slanderous emails that circulate roll off my back. I do have sympathy, though, for those councillors who are facing this barrage for the first time, whether they are for this project or not. Some of the comments circulating have been unjust, unwarranted, and in some situations, underhanded. If all of us thought the same way, you'd only need one of us up here. There's a check and balance to the system we use, and although on some occasions it gets quite heated, I'm privileged to be a part of this system. Community can succeed at anything for which it has unlimited enthusiasm, and I share that enthusiasm for Crystal Beach and recognize that a vibrant Crystal Beach is integral to the overall success of Greater Fort Erie. Some will argue, as they have tonight, on the direction and degree that this development will impact that future. It is merely one piece, and there is much more to do. As my friend Councillor Collard has stated, we need to develop a comprehensive waterfront plan, look at ways to alleviate parking concerns, support the BIA in their continual efforts to maintain momentum and sustain growth, and many other projects. Over the past 4 years, nobody has appeared at that podium more than I have. Some people say I make it look easy. It's not. It's intimidating on the best of nights. I respect every individual who has come forward to speak their mind and share their opinion. It's not easy. I didn't think there was a place in this room more intimidating than there. I found it. This chair. And it's from this chair that I commit to the following regarding the Crystal Beach Gateway development going forward. To fight alongside my fellow councillors, regardless of which side we have come on, to ensure that we work towards realizing 100% of the proposed benefits and do absolutely everything we can in our powers to mitigate the negatives, perceived or otherwise. That is this council's responsibility, and I believe we're up to that challenge if we work together. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, and I'll be brief as well. My apologies for my sound of my voice. As everyone knows, my position on this development has been consistent since the first day. There were times when this first came on that I may have preferred other areas across the street. How do we make it work? And I've been through that, and went through that for the last 4 years that we were here debating this. But this was the plan that was approved and agreed to and signed by contract to move forward with. The comments this evening that I find unfortunate is that the comments regarding the suggestion of us seeking outside legal counsel. It didn't say Canadian legal counsel, it said legal counsel. This is a direct challenge, I believe, to the integrity of our solicitor. We have a solicitor who has a professional obligation to give sound legal advice, sound unbiased legal advice to us as a council and as a corporation. And I believe that our solicitor has done that. We can go and find all sorts of other legal agents that will come forward and give you advice as well. But if you're looking for a solicitor to come in and tell you you're going to either win or lose, I don't think you're going to find one. The decision that was to be made is ours, and as a council, it's ours and ours alone. We take that sound legal advice which we received last week and came forward with a decision. The decision to do it last week was not my idea. It was the motion that came forward that we wanted to meet right away. We got to get this done right away. So we agreed to meet in closed session that night, which is what we did. And it was clearly stated in the agenda that we are going to go in closed session to receive all of this, and then we will rise with or without report, which is consistent with every closed session meeting that we had. The decision to ensure the fact that all the documents stayed in-house were clear. That is the obligation to ensure the fact that all of the information that was discussed there stays there. I find the comments from several councillors that they don't trust or agree with our solicitor to be offensive. We have... Are you done, sir? May I continue? Would you please leave then? With every development, there is a cost. With every development we have here in town, there's a cost versus benefit. There will be upfront costs. Of course there's going to be costs. But there will also be long-term benefits. Every development in this town has an upfront cost. That's why we have a planning department. That's why we have an obligation to provide that planning services to those who wish to develop here. And it's not just the upfront costs. If you want to go into seeing what the costs are of this development, that's only one side. It's like the guy that always wins, at the races. He doesn't tell you about all the times he loses. He just tells you how much he won. Just like you're saying, if these are all the costs that are there, you've got to also include the long-term benefits that will be coming back to this municipality and growth and the rehabilitation of the community, the spearheading of development within that community. All those benefits are there and have long-term financial impacts that have to be included as well. And the yearly return on that investment through taxation. It is said that this cost $2.7 million. That was the value of the land. True. And that's what we're giving to the Molinaro Group. False. We are maintaining 86% of the land. So how can that be? That means that we gave them the entire land. The answer is no. We are maintaining in the public purse 86% of the land. So of that $2.7 million, the Molinaros aren't benefiting the full $2.7 million. Councillor Schuler said that he's been sworn at, and yes, we all have been, but we've been sworn at, but we have also been sworn in to do the best we can for this municipality. We have to hear, and I think in my position is somewhat different than the rest of the members of council, we have to listen to the constituents. I listen to the concerns from all constituents, not just those in certain wards, but in every ward. And I ran on a platform of growth, of positive growth. Choose growth was my campaign slogan. And it's been said that there's been overwhelming opposition to this development. Well, if the results of this election are true, there was also overwhelming support for this. because the decision of the voters clearly showed they supported the candidate who chose to have this development go through. You can